Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. My name's Paula. Today I wanted to go over Mercury Retrograde, and particularly the Mercury Retrograde that begins on October 31st, 2019. That's Samhain. So just as kind of an overview of what Mercury Retrograde even means. Mercury is the planet of communication. So that means interpersonal communication and also communicative devices, things of that nature, technology. It's also a time of travel. So in general, with Mercury retrogrades, what you kind of typically see is right about, say, 2.5 weeks prior to the actual date of the Mercury retrograde. You have what is called the Mercury shadow, Mercury retrograde shadow. Then about 7 days prior, or the 24th of October in this case, you have what is called the Mercury storm. Okay, then when it gets ready to go direct, the week before it actually turns direct is another storm. So Mercury will actually be in retrograde from October 31st until November 21st, and it's going to be in the sign of Scorpio. So the biggest advice that I can give to you is to number one, you're going to really start seeing the effects starting on the 24th, because the storm period is a lot more intense than the shadow period. During Mercury retrograde, a lot of people advise you to, don't try and do anything major or upgrade a computer. Don't get a new phone. You can have more trouble with like cell phone calls getting dropped. There tends to be a lot more issue with communications in general, and that means, people and actual communication devices. So everything tend to go haywire. Some Wiccans even say that they won't do magic during Mercury retrograde, and that's taking it a little bit too far from my perspective. And if you're one of those that believe that, then more power to you, but I don't let it stop me in my spell crafting. This Mercury retrograde, since it's in Scorpio is a very passionate sign, but yet it also has that stinging venom of the Scorpio. So especially if you are in a relationship, I'm going to counsel you to kind of watch your words, because they can come out during this time a little bit more venomous than they would normally. It's also a time where you can, through your magic, heal old wounds of relationships past, or to try and heal a current relationship where you have problems going on. It's also a good time for reconciliations, a time when you take that Scorpio energy in conjunction with the energy of Mercury in retrograde. So this is about the past. This is about healing old wounds. Now this can be in a romantic area, or it can be familial. It's very difficult to get through a Mercury retrograde without having some kind of communication issue. So The Scorpio energy makes it a little bit easier, especially where very close relationships are concerned. Now, there are a few ways that you can really take that Mercury energy to the next level, okay? So this particular Mercury retrograde, because it coincides with Samhain, this is an excellent opportunity to do magic with your ancestors, with those spirit who have passed on. It's also an excellent time for you to really try and hone in on connecting with your spirit guides, with your guardians, with your masters. Mercury retrograde does not have any effect at all on you working with spirit. And with spirit, that's exactly what I mean. Masters, guardians, spirit guides, totems, spirit animals, people that you love who have passed on, people of ancestry that you never knew that have passed on, and then those that I call the ones that you kind of collect along the way. Because I am a psychic and a medium, you know, all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. I have established relationships with people who have passed on, of folks that are in this world that I have connected with their loved ones to bring them messages or warnings and things of that nature. And they typically get a little more active the closer we get to Samhain, because on Samhain, that is when the veil between the esoteric world and the mundane is the thinnest. In other words, between spirit and your regular everyday life. So with that, and with Mercury's energy, your ancestors and your spirit guides, your masters, are going to be even more talkative and present. You may find, if you are like me, my father is a jokester, and he hides shit. That's what he likes to do. My dad passed in 1993, and that is the thing that he does. I mean, recently, my better half took the power washer and was washing down the side of the house, and he switched the wands to the washer over, and he put the other one in the, you know, the spare one, the other washer wand in the garage. And then he went to go back to switch it, and it was gone. Well, 2.5 weeks later, during Mercury shadow at the beginning of this month, he all of a sudden found it in a bush outside on the opposite side of the house. And there's no way he could have made that mistake from leaving it in the garage in the bucket versus out back. And it drove him absolutely insane. And he was telling me, would you tell your dad to knock it off and show me where the damn wand is, you know, kind of thing. So you may notice a lot more of an uptake in that kind of activity, especially if you have a loved one that likes to be a jokester and to pull things on you. Right now, I have a couple of things that are missing, like my whole curriculum and plan for the next level of Wicca and witchcraft classes that I had planned out. I'm missing my entire book. So I'm kind of frantic about it right now. And of course, where I backed it up to, my external hard drive, because I didn't back it up to the cloud, I backed it up to a hard drive. Now I can't access that hard drive at all. So that's the kind of stuff that Mercury likes to bring along, and then my loved ones like to bring to me. So communicating with spirit is one way, okay? Especially if you do this on Samhain, okay? That is the time that you really want to honor people who have passed on before you, okay? You can also do this. I have what I call an ancestor altar. And that has my mother, my father, my eldest sister, grandparents, and even an ancestor from the middle 1800s. Two of them that I have daguerreotypes of, they pop in all the time. And sometimes you will see them fly around right behind me. And because I have a great Aunt Rose that pops in during these videos. She likes it when I do these things. I also have a familiar altar, and this is dedicated to pets that I had who have passed on, because they were such a big part of me. And you know, I have a little vial of ashes from my familiar that I lost several years ago. His name was Sydney, and he was like the coolest dog ever. And I've got some of his ashes as part of my altar, because he still comes and guards my circle, even though I've got 3 dogs now who all guard my circle when I'm working magic or when I'm having a ritual. Another way that you can really use the energy of this Mercury retrograde is to explore astral travel. And this is, you know, you separating from your physical body and allowing your etheric body to travel to other planes and realms. This is a rather advanced type of magic and skill that you develop after many, many years or a long time of practicing witchcraft or practicing very, very deep meditation. This would also be a really good time to go back and review. I keep a journal of my magical stuff, plus I have my grimoire, plus I have my book of shadows. And it's really good to go back in your book of shadows, because that not only documents you know, spells and rituals and things. It documents your spiritual journey, how you got to where you are. If you have dream journals, any kind of journals, your grimoire, it's a really good time to go back and revisit all of that and reconnect to your magic and reconnect to your path. Another way that can really, the energy of Mercury retrograde is a great time for fall cleaning, okay? Especially this one. It's time to organize, it's time to clean, it's time to do the fall cleaning, it's time to, you know, re-up your protections, maybe change them a little bit because you don't want them to get stale. But it's really a good time for you to go through things and weed things out that no longer serve you. And it's a good time then, you know, for items that are serviceable for your, to be able to pass things on that are still serviceable and donate them to someone who might be able to use them. This is another time when you may want to do some past life exploration. There are meditations out there for doing past life regression. But I know that you've had that kind of feeling where, gee whiz, why do I know this? Why do I have this skill when you would think it's outside of your normal skill set? And that's probably because you've used that skill set in a previous life, in a previous lifetime. So this is also, like I said, good time to do past life regression, and then to really look at what lessons you were supposed to learn. It's also a good idea to do some reflections of yourself during this time. You need to really take a look at your actions and your karma, if you look at it, if you believe in karma. And I like to just say, you know, not necessarily karma, but pay it forward. You know, if you pay forward good things and then you don't expect anything in return, do something nice for a complete stranger. Pay for the person's coffee behind you in line at Starbucks or something like that. Do something kind. Go and volunteer at a soup kitchen, or go through your pantry and donate food to a food bank in your area, or go and buy, you know, stable goods that you can take to a food pantry in your area, especially because we're coming up in the United States, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and you know, that is one of the times when there is a larger impact during the holidays on food banks in the United States, from Thanksgiving all the way through the, you know, Christmas holiday season. This is a really good time to assess your behaviors and then start either changing your ways or continuing the good. Okay, so like I said, it's really a good time to pay things forward. Even if it's just something small, like buying a stranger a cup of coffee. One other thing that is really good that is going to be particularly good during this Mercury retrograde is to forgive and forget. And that's not only people who have harmed you, but also yourself. Sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves that we do more damage to ourselves than, you know, other people can do to us with words. It's a great time to do some self-care. You know, if you can carve out a couple of hours to, you know, go get a pedicure, go get a manicure, or do it yourself at home. You know, take a nice long bath, do a nice ritual bath for Samhain. Do some self-care and spend some time, because you can't take care of anyone else if you're not in a shape to take care of yourself. So we often forget that. It's very important too, since Mercury retrograde is starting and ending in Scorpio. That's a water sign. So this is a time when you really need to pay attention to your water intake and making sure that you're hydrated. It's a great time to like take on some DIY projects, to renovate your space, to redecorate, or, you know, decorate for the season that you're coming into. Like our friends in the southern hemisphere are in spring, they're heading into summer. you know, think about those summer vibes and what's going to happen in December. But, you know, embrace the spring, embrace that spring energy. In the northern hemisphere, we're in autumn, heading into winter. Embrace those autumnal looks. Decorate your house for autumn. See back here, you know, I got my spoopy stuff up for Samhain. So, you know, you can really decorate your house and use that energy to just give you a little bit of a change of environment, a little bit of an extra look. It's also, if you are thinking about applying for another job, the period of Mercury retrograde isn't necessarily a good time to go and apply for that new job, but it is a really good time to take a look at your resume or your CV and your overarching, like, personal mission statement or your personal objective, you know, that's on your resume. It's a good time to really take a look at that. And if you're a business owner, it's a good time to take a look at your business plan. What's working, what's not? How can you really hone in on that communication energy of Mercury to help you get along and get better? This particular Mercury retrograde, it begins and ends in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. So in general, what this Mercury retrograde is going to mean to the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces is that there can be a real shift in some of the people and things and places that are at the core of your life can start to shift, and your feelings about them can change too. You can't control those changes, but you can control your reaction to them, okay? You can either contribute to the tempest and be, you know, a drama queen or king, or you can be the voice of reason in that storm, okay? And it's important for the water signs to really take a look at yourself, about your own identity as a person, to see if you're happy. And if not, what things can you tweak and change, okay? For the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, water is our opposite element. I am a Leo. I am a Leo with a Libra moon and a Scorpio ascendant. I am all kinds of, I'm not your typical Leo because the Libra balances me out, but buddy, that Scorpio sting, I can tell you to go to hell and make you look forward to the trip. I can rip you to pieces with my words. So it's very important for me, especially right now, to watch my words, okay? It's very hard for fire signs to not be like, tackle something immediately and be very direct. Sometimes we're direct to the point of being, people get offended. So we need to just watch our words, especially right now. Don't get worked up. Like I said, I'm lucky. I have that Libra to help balance out that Scorpio and that Leo that is so prominent in my natal chart. It's also a good time for our fire signs, instead of, you know, being the only one out there, you know, fighting the fight and forging forward and tackling everything on our own because we are hard-headed and independent, is to actually ask for help. And you know what? They will help you. For the earth signs, that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you need to kind of relax and chill and go with the flow. Taurans and Virgos especially, they like order. I've always said, for me, all I have to do is like start something and then leave it, and my Taurus better half will pick it off and finish it. Okay, if I've got something that I need done and I've got these great ideas and everything, but I don't know how to like assemble them, hand it to a Virgo. You want help cleaning out your closet? Have a Virgo come help you, because by golly, they are the best ones at organizing and getting things straight. So that's one of the things that you have to really put aside and kind of tone down right now during the retrograde. Put aside the practicality, put aside the rigidness, and learn to go with the flow. And then you'll also be more open to receiving the messages that the universe is trying to send you, but sometimes you block them off because your logical, earth-bound, mind is so practical. Okay, for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Air signs tend to be workaholics. They also tend to be perfectionists. This is a time for you to take a deep breath and slow down. I know this is going to be hard for you because we are coming into the holiday season and you want to get everything done, and just have faith that the universe will have things work out the way that they should. Just don't overreact, okay? Instead of voicing disharmony when things aren't going the exact right way, really take a hard look at what is going on. What is the deeper source of that issue, rather than just going off of the surface of what's going on. This is also a time for air signs to really take time and kind of slow down and meditate. This is going to be a very important time for you to stay grounded and centered through all of this, and then you'll have a little bit more harmony. So what does this all really mean? Okay, in general, Mercury retrograde this go around is going to be a little bit easier than some of the past ones have been. The trick is just being able to look with your logical self and see what's going on, to think before you speak, and to really hone in on developing your psychic abilities, listening to your intuition, connecting with spirit, connecting with your spirit guides, with your guardians, and with your spirit masters. So this go of Mercury retrograde is going to be one of the most active with regard to spirit, okay, and the development of your intuition and your psychic ability. Everybody has intuition. Everybody has psychic ability. It's just being able to tap into it, develop it, control it, and use it like a tool, okay? So there we are, my friends. Happy Mercury retrograde. Mercury storm starts on the 24th. We are in Mercury shadow right now. So with that, I hope everything goes well. Hopefully this video will render and upload without any issue, because computers are not acting very nice right now in my household. So with that, my friends, merry we did meet, merry we will part, until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.